Of the 590.
Alright, so first thing we're gonna watch is something I have a little bit of knowledge on one side, at least the side of at least cooking of on
Eating challenges post.
no, yeah, but Jesus. Sunny V2 did a video about all the challenges that Beard Meats Food could not beat, and some of this is bullshit, but yeah, so I'll give my insight on that. But yeah, if you don't know who Beard Meats Food is, he is a UK like competitive eater. I don't know too much about competitive eating, but I've worked in a few restaurants that have tried doing these, and one of them kind of succeeded in some way and the other one just completely failed. But
To his channel, Beard Meats Food has failed only 14. So from the earliest to the most recent, we're going to go over each rare example where the restaurant beat him, beginning with the undefeated Yorkshire Pudding Burger, which was the first challenge uploaded to his channel, which Beard couldn't finish. When Adam attempted the challenge back in February 2015, he'd been uploading YouTube videos for only 2 weeks, and as a result the production is fairly basic. However, he didn't need multiple angles and a 4K camera to show just how difficult this challenge was. As highlighted in the description, the challenge featured a 40-ounce burger topped with mozzarella chicken, beef brisket and gravy, accompanied by a pint of shake and a pound of thick cut fry.
Yeah, see, there needs to be like limits on this type of stuff, because some of this stuff no human could finish, and you know, some of it is detrimental to your health. Like one of the most recent restaurants I worked in tried to do a massive chicken sandwich with just a ridiculous amount of chicken, bread. It was like a garlic seasoned bread too, so you gotta deal with all that. Then they put it on a like tray with fries and whatnot, and it was just like no one's gonna eat all this. Only that was the one that flopped. I think like one person tried it. I'm pretty sure he was like a friend of the owner, but yeah, no one finished it, no one attempted it. They're probably not even doing it, and if so, no one knows about it except for like me and maybe a few of the old timers that still work there.
Although over the top of some extra loud music, Adam explained that the most difficult part of the challenge was the 25-minute time limit, which simply wasn't enough to finish the fries. Marking first ever defeat on the Beard Meats Food channel.
Just couldn't eat quickly enough, and I think that's one thing I'm gonna have to improve on if I'm gonna take it to the next level. So,
and while you might be thinking that Beard,
but who could actually finish all that in under a half hour? Again, if you're gonna do a time limit, like I think these restaurants need to sit down and actually attempt it a few times. If you're gonna put a time limit on it, you got to get like average of what people can beat it at before you can do something like that. And something that size, just no way. There's no way you're getting that down and keeping it down in 25 minutes. Not just the burger, but all the fries, all the what is it? You know, all those potatoes and all the starch that. Yeah, that's just not happening. They gotta throw a shake on top of that, like pretty much just asking to give someone a heart attack or something.
Failed because he was new to professional eating. This couldn't have been further from the truth. Even at the beginning of his channel back in 2015, he'd explained that he was the UK's best professional eater. And only 1 month after he failed the Yorkshire Burger Challenge, he'd beat a giant naan bread challenge that was so difficult you won an overseas holiday just for finishing the meal.
Damn,
this showed that Beard Meats Food was a pro even in the beginning, although he still wasn't good enough to beat the 1.2 meter hot dog challenge at Huckleberry's Diner. Attempted only 1 month after the previous failure, the video is still fairly basic, although Beard's able to get a clear shot of the 4-foot monstrosity, which the restaurant gave him an hour to finish. Only 11 minutes into the challenge, Beard is down to the bread, and it seems as though he's going to beat it, but he's then handed another hot dog of equal size, showing that he was really only halfway. Things became even worse after Beard explained that the chef accidentally...
Again, you see what I mean? Like, one of those is probably possible in an hour, and that's probably a good time limit and a good pace, but to throw 2 on top of that, no. Again, so someone's getting choked to death.
Used a heavy baguette instead of a light hot dog bun, and for this reason it took Adam more than half an hour just to eat the bread. By the 52-minute mark it looked like he was going to finish, although with 1 minute remaining there were still 2 bites left, to which his mouth was saying yes but his stomach was saying no. The Beard simply couldn't swallow the final part of the meal, but while this hot dog failure had come down to a matter of 2 mouthfuls, his next defeat was significantly more pronounced when he'd take on the 10-pound cheesecake challenge.
God. And now you're just asking to give people diabetes and put them into a sugar comatose. God damn, you got Oreos, caramel. What is that in the middle there? That looks like Rolos or something in the middle there. Whipped cream. And it's cheesecake. It's probably thick as hell. It looks good as hell. One slice looks good as hell. Oh, I see what that is. That's 2 cheesecakes on top of each other. That's 2 cheesecakes stacked on top of each other. Wow. I mean, it looks really good, but
later,
again, just
at the
one
very
slice.
Same restaurant where he'd failed the 4-foot hot dog challenge.
Oh, I think I've heard about this
showing
one.
that the 10-pound cheesecake was bigger than his head, although he'd also explained that it was a 2-man challenge. So he had a person by the name of John.
This guy just like
finish it. The only problem was the rules stated that they couldn't both be eating at the same time.
Which is
so
weird.
The other guy went first and tapped out after eating only one of the cake's 6 slices. This meant that Adam was left with over 80
I mean, it's a lot of cake.
Which he do while explaining that the cheesecake was so dense, he had to throw it up after attempting the challenge. The beard had to admit defeat with around 1.5 slices remaining, although he probably gets a pass given it was a 2-man job. However, the only excuse for the next challenge he'd fail was that it was simply stupidly difficult.
Well, most of these you could say already.
He tried the challenge in the past.
Most of these you could say already stupidly difficult, like 2 20-foot hot dogs and a 10-pound cheesecake that he pretty much had to endure on his own. Like, I didn't notice till now that it was 2 stacked on top of each other, so, you know, I can see why that guy gave up. Well, I don't know, if you say you're gonna help out a professional eater like this, you should probably train in, like, the days and weeks coming up and figure that shit out. But, yeah, that's what I was saying. I could probably do 1 double stacked slice of that, like they showed, but the whole thing... Nah.
I tried this about a year ago, probably a little bit more. It's basically 7 pounds of barbecue food.
And while 7 pounds of barbecue food sounds like a
it's endured a lot throughout the years. A lot of shit food has been in that beard. Probably just as much as gone into his,
full rack of ribs,
you know,
sausages, 6
mouth.
slices of beef brisket, 2 pounds of fries, coleslaw, 4 bread buns, 3 pots of beans, 1 pot of jalapenos,
1
5
pot of
strips of pork
jalapenos.
crackling.
The fuck does 1 pot of jalapenos mean? Like just straight jalapenos? Cooked jalapenos? That's just weird to throw on top of all of that. Like, that's like enough food for like a whole family. That could literally probably feed my whole family for a day. So, 1 person eating all that in 1 sitting. Is there a time limit to this?
Pork, made even more difficult by the explanation that almost all ingredients seem to have doubled in size compared to my last attempt, and though I'm sure it wasn't intentional, this meal is far.
Well, I don't know, because I have heard of other places like intentionally fucking over people that they know are competitive eaters. When they come in there, they will there's the one where God, what's his name, Adam from Mad vs. Food, I can't remember his last name. One of his challenges, they like fucked with the hot sauce or added extra like fucking atomic hot sauce atomic hot sauce to his wings, and like it completely fucked him up for, you know, the challenge and for like a day later. So, you know, this is my other problem with these competitive things is like, you know, there are restaurants that fuck over competitive eaters just because I don't know why. They bring business to your,
The beard was able to get
you know,
through an
restaurant.
impressive amount of food. However, he eventually succumbed to the sheer amount of meat.
But in all honesty, when I do hear about places that fuck over, you know, competitive eaters, I'm like, yeah, I'm never gonna eat there. Why the fuck would you do that? It's such a dick move. Like this right here, just adding more food to this shit just to make sure less people... I understand you don't want people to come in there and beat it off the bat, but you gotta find a happy middle ground.
But in case 7 pounds of barbecue food wasn't already hard enough, only 1 month later...
And don't fuck over these competitive eaters trying to do their job.
Was so difficult, the restaurant had to downsize the meal afterwards as they realized nobody would ever beat it. Titled the 11-pound chicken and waffles challenge...
See, but I feel like this is an appropriate approach. Is like, you know, they try it and then they fuck up and then they try and fix it. But a lot of these places don't try and fix it. They just put out these challenges knowing they're going to make a bunch of money off it because you're not going to be able to beat it. Like I was talking about with that chicken sandwich challenge. They knew, you know, that almost no one would be able to eat that amount of food. But the thing was like a $40, you know, burger. So, you know, they were going to make a huge markup off it if anyone did try to challenge it, but they, you know, didn't take off
and
like they had
by
thought.
Stating that this was going to be his hardest challenge ever.
I'm going to be taking on probably my toughest challenge yet. This eating
Oh, it's a
challenge
badass Batman statue in the
Going on to
background.
explain that he needed to eat 4 Louisiana chickens, 4 deep fried chickens, 8 waffles, onions, onion rings, corn, and 3 pounds of cheesy fries. However, it seemed the beard was being humble, as he didn't mention the bacon on the sides as well as
These are great ideas if you're like a college student, because that's like days of food.
It's the 40-minute time limit, which...
Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about. 40 fucking minutes. 40 minutes, no.
And by the 30-minute mark, Adam
Oh, bro, you should have just took the cap off and, you know, doused it all.
Who you are, ain't nobody eating that amount of food in a minute.
No, because the colder the potatoes and all that starch gets, the worse it is.
To encourage participation. Although it seemed this defeat would actually lead to a string of...
Holy shit, the 6-pound breakfast, the waffle burger, fresh shake, and the trip to London. The fuck is that? Oh, that's one of those, yeah, those like new age shakes where they like cover the inside and outside and shit for some reason. And then they just stack all of it on top and you're supposed to eat. Wow. Looks good as hell. How much does it cost? UK's biggest mixed grill. Man. Mind you, most of these finishes.
As the beard wouldn't upload another failure for over 15 months until he was eventually undone by the undefeated
look at that
Meat
shake.
Mountain.
That's a goddamn
Located at
milkshake.
Tavasoli's Bar and Grill, Adam described the Meat Mountain as one of the most difficult eating challenges I've seen for a long time, which was supported by the scorecard on the wall behind
Oh, hey,
him,
look.
showing that there were
Man
8
versus
failures
food.
and not a single winner. If there was one man
Might be
for the
time to
job, it was
consider
going to be
to,
Beardmate's food. However, he
downsize
needed to
that
get through a
challenge.
9-pound garbage plate of fries, hash browns, mozzarella dippers, bacon, pulled pork, burger patties, chorizo, garlic mayo, and sweet chili sauce,
Jesus.
accompanied by a pint of Kinder Bueno milkshake, all of which has to be finished within 20 minutes.
This is a crazy amount of food for 20 minutes. I'm not really surprised that nobody had done it before.
Wearing a t-shirt which stated "Count blessings, not calories," the
That's a badass shirt. But still, is it even possible to put that much food into one person's stomach in that little amount of time? You know, that's a lot of fried food, a lot of red meat, a lot of again starch, and the potato, the fries, man. The reason they do that is because as that shit gets colder and the more, you know, it builds up in your stomach, the fuller you get and the harder it is to get more food into your stomach. And then you got to finish it off with that giant fucking, I don't know what Bueno is, but that giant milkshake. It looks amazing, but you know, I just don't think it's humanly possible, and it's definitely not healthy. Like, that's one of the things with this shit is like you're intentionally putting your customer into harm's way by making them eat this. Like, I guess it's the same argument with Heart Attack Grill, but this is something that I don't know.
Beard began to smash his meal, interrupting himself only when asking for more water. By the 15-minute mark,
you
he
just have
stated
to
that
keep
the meal felt
going.
like a bottomless pit of food, and by the 19-minute mark, Adam accepted that
see?
he didn't have enough time. He'd gone to make the
This is
slightly
one-
arrogant yet incredibly
Look at that
factual
beard,
statement
man.
that,
To be honest, not many restaurants that do eating challenges manage to beat me.
which was supported by him not failing a single restaurant challenge
Oh,
over the
damn,
next
look at all
2
that food.
years. However, when he'd come up against the incredibly unique Bangers and Mash challenge, the Beard's 24-month winning streak would finally come to an end.
Ugh.
Described below the video
No
as
offense, but that
ludicrously
looks
difficult,
disgusting.
Adam was shocked by what the challenge involved,
You get 30 sausages. 30? 30? Okay.
which became even worse after the server told him the
That's
amount of
pretty-
time
wow.
he had to do it in.
You gotta finish it all in, is it 1 hour? 20 minutes?
The fuck?
Oh my lord, I should have just done the...
Yeah, so how much you want to bet it was an hour? Because this just seems like, again, one of those situations where they found him in there and they're like, oh, fuck me, it's this guy. Well, let's make this really hard for him. So they doubled up on the fucking sausages, and they probably were like, no, make it 20 minutes because we don't want to give him a free meal. You know, I don't get why they do that, why they want to fuck with these people that can bring them good publicity and, you know, help them out. Like, you know, they're not Gordon Ramsay going in there trying to critique your shit and fucking get your place shut down. They're just trying to do your challenge and then post it on YouTube so they can make some money off it. Like, what's so wrong with that? But yeah, this just seems very weird and shady. I have a good feeling it's like it was supposed to be an hour, and then They were like, no, 20 minutes. There's no way. There's no way. I mean, that doesn't look as big as everything else, but look at those giant fucking carrots on whatever the fuck that thing is right there. That looks like more mashed potatoes, but I mean, I don't get it. Why are there giant fucking carrots in it and on it? Like, just weird.
You just done the little burger. This could be the first restaurant challenge I failed in.
It's been 84 years.
It was obvious that Adam was unconfident from the get-go, made even worse after he'd start and discover each sausage was too hot to eat.
Oh yeah, look at that. Look at all that steam, yeah.
Adam's confidence continued to drop after realizing
they didn't ruin the camera.
Had to eat a whole cauliflower afterwards.
That's what it is.
He did give it a red-hot shot. Beard was eventually defeated by the time limit, although not before the restaurant offered him a free t-shirt for his efforts anyway.
I feel like I should give you a t-shirt.
However, there was no t-shirt being offered by Low, Slow, and Dough, as the Beard had no chance of beating their burrito challenge.
Usually they're very strict in giving out those t-shirts because they cost, you know, some money at least. They don't print a lot of them because they don't expect you to finish these things. But yeah, maybe I was wrong if they still were like, hey, you know, here's a t-shirt for trying. You know, that seems like a nice thing to do.
The chef came out to personally explain the magnitude of the meal.
This looks weird.
Just over a foot long, weighs about 2.5 kilos.
Before the owner talked about how many people had
Okay, I'm gonna translate that to pounds.
I've seen a few people have attempted it and failed miserably.
Everyone's failed.
What is it? Is it a giant
Adam then explained
piece of
that the meal
fish?
was much larger in real life than it looked in the photos,
which turned out to be way bigger than the pictures indicate.
leading to the suspicion that
I just don't know what any of that is. Are those God damn it.
One of the reasons I try not to
things in the back. I can't. I'm blanking on the name.
Piled it on here. I mean, I don't
But
mind
the
that,
dessert, that is a
this
lot
tough
of them.
going.
Beard had demolished the entire burrito within 2 or 3 minutes. However,
Oh, it was
the
a
halloumi
burrito.
was almost impossible to get down in the 17 minutes remaining, with Adam describing the challenge as...
I just had a
It
bad
looks
day
like
at
a
the
huge
office.
Hawaiian dish
I suppose
mixed
it
with,
happens in all careers.
After
you
being
know,
unable to finish
the...
the
God
churros,
damn
he
it, what are
stated he
those?
planned
Not
on
chorizo. I don't know why I
It's
keep
definitely
thinking
doable,
that.
so I'll be back.
which he'd do 5 months later, getting
Nice.
revenge on the challenge with 45 seconds left on the
God,
clock.
look at his
However,
hands.
45 seconds
Oh,
was
man.
still favorable in comparison to the 0 seconds he had left when attempting the Breakfast Club's 50-item fry-up.
Oh,
Eggs,
wow.
bacon, beans, mushrooms, the list went on
Yeah,
and
like
on.
everything.
50 different breakfast pieces, including
Look how
a full
deep.
bowl of potatoes, which counted as only 1 item. It's really no wonder why Adam
That in
described
his
the
own home?
breakfast as so massive light actually bends around it. However, the primary concern might have been
Oh no,
the
that
time
is a
limit.
rrestaurant.
Yeah,
That is a
30
very
minutes to finish. That's
upscale
As
looking
Adam began
restaurant.
to eat, it was obvious that he was doubting his
That,
own ability.
God, what is
See it in
the...
my face that I'm not quite as
The, like,
self-confident.
puck
With his
looking
lack of
things in the
confidence
bottom. Is
becoming a
that
self-fulfilling
blood sausage?
prophecy, as he began to chat with the other people in the restaurant about how he got into professional eating. After passing the 13-minute mark,
Bean
Adam
patties?
acknowledged
I have
his
no
lack of
idea.
speed in the
Yeah, look
first
how
half.
deep those
I think I have
dish
to be
of
quite
beans
suicidal
are.
from the start. I think I was pretty slow at the gate. I'm 15 minutes in. How have I got all this food left?
I think the Breakfast Club is going to defeat me.
And by the 23-minute mark, he'd accepted that
Probably
there was
should
no
have just
way he was
smeared
eating
the
potatoes.
beans and whatnot, the other one all over the bread. You know, just like turned it over
In
and
spite of the failure, the Breakfast
start
Club were
making
nice enough to
sandwiches.
offer him a t-shirt, but it was lucky that the next place he'd be defeated
demolished the
also
shit
offered
out of that.
funerals, as Fletcher's Olympic calzone damn near killed him. Beer described the challenge as a calamity from the get-go, as after realizing that the food was piping hot, he had to eat the crust around the outside while waiting for the middle to cool down. When it was finally cool enough to eat, Adam quickly tired from the sheer quantity of pepperoni, ending the challenge somewhat anticlimactically by stating,
I can't face any more pepperoni. That's all it is. Mate, I can't do the
again, you see all those fries? With the fries, again with the fries, and then the bread, which is essentially, you know, more starch and fucking more filler. You know, bread is one of the most filling things. That's why restaurants give it to you at the beginning of your meal, hoping you'll fill up on it. But yeah, to start with all that first, and then move into the pepper, the meat, the cheese. Oh man. And it's getting colder as you go along.
I can't stand the taste of it anymore. I'll take the loss.
However, at least Beard was able to leave the restaurant in a calm state, as the next challenge he'd fail looked so different from the pictures that he'd almost get
Hard
into an
Rock
argument
Hotel.
with the restaurant.
Is
The
this
online
like
photo
the
showed
one
a
we're
small
all
pot
thinking of?
chips, 1 scoop of ice cream, and a relatively small burger. However, the portion served to Beard
God
featured a literal
damn.
colander of chips, 8 scoops of
You
ice
see?
cream, and a tower burger, causing a
You
bit of a
see?
scuffle between him and the restaurant.
This is definitely an instance where they're trying to fuck him over. So there's no way that they just they constantly use a colander for that shit. That's not what that shit's for. Someone got pissed at him or something. I don't know why this happens. I will never probably understand this. They were just like, here, fill this up with fucking fries and give it to him. And then got the biggest slice of fucking cake they could find.
Front.
It's not the same bucket. Look at it. That's a full one. But that one is far apart like a corn. Come on, big man. That's like a normal fucking fries. It's a challenge. Oh, hey, man.
Dude, just walk off. Fuck them.
The other problem Adam faced was that the timer started as soon as the food hit the table, and since he'd spent the first 6 minutes arguing, introducing, and taking pictures for the thumbnail, he was left with less than 24 minutes to eat the actual meal.
If I win this, it's gonna be a miracle, man, because I don't know how long I've been going this. Come on, man.
As is obvious in that clip, Adam wasn't in the best state of mind from the get-go, almost like he wanted to lose just to prove to the restaurant that the portion size was unbeatable.
I think I've got about 10 minutes left, maybe, if that. What a flipping con.
As the challenge continued, Adam stated that he'd never been this angry during a meal.
Understandably, though.
You'll never see me, but, you know, with good reason.
Which is followed by him accepting defeat with around 4 minutes remaining.
I'm done. I'm just waiting for the guy to come over now.
However, while Adam gets somewhat of a pass for this defeat, the only justification for his next failure was that it was probably the largest, most difficult challenge
that is
ever
way too
posted
many
to his
beans.
channel. Located at Connor's Cafe in Wigston, the channel going by the name of the Loza Sandwich had been attempted by over 50 people without a single success, and after it came out onto the table,
Look
there
at
was
all
no
the beans
question as to
and sausage,
why. The
whole
monstrous sandwich
sausages.
featured a full baguette, half a dozen eggs, half a loaf of bread, as well as fries, beans, mushrooms, and chorizo. Thankfully, the meal was
I'll
incredibly
fill you
well
up quick.
should Adam be defeated.
12 quid?
Wow.
I come down here and eat every day.
Yeah, no
Although on
shit.
top of the
See what I
£12
mean?
cost, failed challenges also require
You're a college student and you live near one of these establishments, it might not be a bad idea to, you know, go buy one of these and just be like, oh no, I'm taking this home. I'm just gonna fuck your challenge. You know, I'm gonna take this home and live off this for the weekend, you know? Like $12, well, I don't know what $12 equates to here, you know, this is in the UK. But you know, for however much that is, you know, you gotta admit, that's like a whole weekend's worth of food right there if you like that type of stuff. Again, a lot of fucking beans, though.
a £10
I really love your
charity,
beans.
which was a pretty cool idea by the restaurant.
Looks like a
It wasn't
little
long before
mom
Adam's
and pop
least
shop.
favorite food was getting in the way of the challenge,
I'm not a huge fan of mushrooms, so get those out of the way.
as was the owner in a pretty funny way. By the 21-minute mark, Adam was praying for a second wind of motivation, although with 4 minutes remaining, he'd accept that it wasn't happening.
Waving the white flag. I'm gonna have to give in. Yeah, congratulations. It's not often I'm beaten.
However, while the Loza sandwich looked almost impossible from the start, his next failure was the opposite. The
Damn.
10-pound pancake challenge looked fairly
Those
straightforward,
look
yet
good.
it turned out to be unbelievably difficult. The video began with the explanation that in over 14 years it had almost never been beaten.
Only 3 people have done
Then
it.
again,
so
why
far,
not
at
cut it
least.
down a
Even
little
more
bit?
difficult by questions and photos from countless friendly fans. In addition to this, a comment on the video stated, "Those pancakes look way bigger / thicker than in the other videos I've seen from this
Oh,
same
here we
challenge,"
go again.
showing that he might have gotten unlucky in terms of pancake size. Despite this, the beard gave it his best shot, although
Wow,
it took
that was
only
like
6 minutes and
thick.
33 seconds before Adam was confident he wouldn't finish. He'd spend the next 19 minutes slowly
Definitely look
devouring
warm and
as much
fluffy,
as he
though.
could. However, the time limit was no issue on this one, as he'd throw in the towel with over 35 minutes left on the
Yeah, like
clock,
those,
showing that there was
those
simply
2,
too much
maybe
food.
3 right
I had
there.
an
Look
hour,
how
but I've only got like
cute.
30
Oh,
minutes left. I
wow.
don't even think I'm gonna get close to this one.
Wow.
While every defeat so
That's them
far
broken
came from
down.
either time constraints or portion sizes, it'd be the 4 million Scoville spicy noodle
Here we
challenge,
go. This is
which
what I wanna
presented
see.
a brand new problem. The meal was just too damn
I'd be
hot.
willing to
I read
try
on the
this.
internet that
I'd
this
be
is
game.
The spiciest ramen challenge in America.
The manager explained that over 300 people had attempted the bowl
Okay, it's
without
got
success.
Naruto
300
pictures in the
attempts,
background.
nobody's finished. I'm not the man for this assignment.
With the challenge being so wild that Adam had to sign a waiver just to eat the meal. The 3-pound bowl of ramen had to be finished
Okay,
in
well, you
under
know,
8
when you
minutes,
do that
though in
much, maybe
possibly
not.
his least confident state ever.
That is a
Adam said it
huge
wasn't
bowl
happening
of
after
fucking
only
ramen.
19 seconds. Despite this, the beard made a pretty
Wow,
solid
that's,
attempt, with
that's
the
one way to
restaurant
go
saying
about
was one
it.
of the best efforts so far. Yet this would also mark
throwing
his
up.
14th and most recent restaurant defeat out of the 590 challenges
Not
attempted
bad.
on his channel.
Not bad at all. So, you know, when you've been doing it that long, some shit's gonna happen. But, you know, again, most of it, it feels like it was just him being set up to fail. Again, I don't know why they see these people come in there with their following and go, let's fuck this guy over. That should end well for us. That won't backfire in any way. But, yeah, it definitely feels like it happened to him a few times. But I guess that's part of the game. But, yeah, I want to try that ramen kind of. Probably not that huge-ass fucking bowl, but it doesn't even really look that high. I wonder what they put in there to make it, you know, what was it, over 4 million Scovilles? Usually you would expect it to have some red discoloration or something to it from some kind of extract, but I wonder what they're using. That sounds so good, though.